straight times. They're 8-5 playing for the top half of the OAC. Ohio Northern at 10-10 off a big win a couple of nights ago against Heidelberg by 6. But they're 5-8, Rich, in the OAC, and right now in that 7th spot with Wilmington. They need a win. They're 2 games behind Capital and Otterbein, but it's not insurmountable if they play, especially in the post, the way they played a couple of nights ago.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. It was a great game against Heidelberg and a really big win for them, too, as far as that goes with the league standings. And, again, it comes down to, you know, at any time, anybody in this league can beat anybody. And we had an overtime game over at Marietta the first time and lost on a last-second play. And, you know, last time I think we won there was 2018 when we were in the tournament. And that's probably about the last time we won at Marietta.
Well, and in Marietta leading the all-time series 59-47, and something obviously folks at Ohio Northern won't like to hear about. They lead the all-time series here 21-18, but 103-102, double overtime the first time that these teams played. Talking to both coaches, you'll see the keys here in just a second, but great scoring for Northern. They got career highs from 3 different guys. Will Miller had 27, Caden Jacoby had 19, Carter Reese had 25, and it was the second of 3 games in that span where he had 25, did it against Mount about a week earlier. If they can get that kind of production, you feel good about their chances.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what, you know, the balanced scoring's been really good for Ohio Northern, and I think that's really important. At any given night, somebody might go off and have a little bit more, but there's always pretty much balanced scoring, and has a lot to do with that motion offense that Ohio Northern runs.
Taking a look at the Keyhole Pizza keys to the game, looking at Marietta and the long-tenured head coach in John Vanderwall in his 17th year, 327 and 132. He said we need to contain the guards. Last time that we had a terrible ball screen defense on Miller and Reese, and they flat out killed us. We need to be effective in communicating offensively in all of their switching, and we have to win the rebounding battle. Pretty simple keys for coach. You look at the other side, and it's actually 4 keys for the head coach in Neil Young for Northern. He talks about their conversion defense, trying to slow down an offense that pushes as well as anybody in the league, be able to get back and not have to be scrambling. Oh, and then he talks a lot about Sammy Willoughby. Said he's an incredibly unique player, leading scorer, but a lot of offensive rebounds, and you get out hustled by this kid, you'll look up and you'll be behind on the board. Said we have to work really hard, especially on missed free throws, because that's where he shines. Turnover margin.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. You got to win the turnover margin. And then at the three-point line, he knows that both teams like to shoot the threes. Said if we get our best shooters some quality looks and kind of hold theirs up, we might be able to hold one and kind of patch one together here tonight and get this win.
Yeah, well, Willoughby's, you gotta block him out. He's amazing on the boards. You know, that's the number 1. And then he talks about containing the guards. Well, Marietta on the ball screen, they're going to show really hard. You'll see it tonight right away. They'll show really hard with the guy that's screening the ball. They'll jump out and they'll show. So there's availability to hit that post again, like Ohio Northern did at with Heidelberg.
I like that they always simplify it. Hey, we got to make some shots and rebound.
Yeah.
We got to make sure they don't make some shots and they don't get our rebounds.
That's kind of how it goes sometimes.
It seems simple enough, right? Got the national anthem now. Starters coming up in just a few here inside Ohio Northern University on MK Telco Sports.
This third day of February, between the visitors, the Pioneers of Marietta College, and as we have the singing of our national anthem, your resilient cheerleader, Coco McLaughlin.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose buttress and bright
these teams played. It's kind of fascinating to see how it goes because Northern got outscored 40-32 in the first half, but they came back to go 46-38 in the second half. Each team got 9 in the overtime period of the first one at least, and then a 16-15 Marietta lead. They just lost to Capital on a Wednesday, snapped their 3-game win streak. They shot 20 of 64 from the field, and shooting is a lot. I mean, you look at what these teams shot 75 and 76 times the first time these two teams played.
Yeah. And, you know, on the road, it's a little different story sometimes at home. Obviously, we've got a little bit of, I think we're 6-3, Ohio Northern at home. Played pretty well at home, so sometimes on the road, it's a little different story. But that game at Marietta, that, you know, they ran, it was a Duke play back in the day.
No, it's Carolina Day. I don't want to talk about that.
With Leitner. So they ran a little version of that, a home run play.
Nobody in my house likes you anymore because I'm a Carolina fan. My wife's a Kentucky fan.
I know. I'm just telling you what we saw. And it was a little version of that, what we call home run. They hit the guy at the top of the key. But the twist on that is they had a trailer in which Marietta hit the trailer, and they scored on a last-second shot.
Northern beat Heidelberg on Wednesday 71-65 to snap their 4-game losing streak, which is very odd during the course of their season because it came after a 6-game win streak. Carter Reese had his 17th 20-point game of the year, his 7th, but a lot of things to do here tonight. Look at the starting lineup in Jack Alexander, David Sanford, Frank Wagenfeld, the 6'8 junior, Diovion Price, and Samuel Willoughby, the 6'3 senior for Marietta. Clad in the Jordan Brand Blues. That is a good sign because that means Carolina will beat Duke tonight. Let's hope.
Yeah.
It's going to be Will Miller, Blake Michael, Carter Reese, Jotty Cunningham, and Caden Jacoby. Again, 3 of those 5 had their career high the first time these teams played in that 103-102 loss for the Bears.
So Cooper Parrott for Marietta's been out for quite some
He's
time.
Still out today.
Yeah, because he was out the first time.
He walked past me, and he's got amazing hair. Oh. And I remember looking at the roster, and that was the only reason how I knew who it was.
Yeah, no, he's been out, so I don't know what kind of injury he has or what. So
Coach Vanderwall, who once upon a time wasn't that long ago, has led the Pioneers to the Final Four. 9 times they've been to the NCAA tournament in his previous 16 years.
Yeah.
He's built a nice program.
Yeah, he really has. I mean, a couple of struggles early on when he started, but he's really got it going now.
What a beautiful backdoor pass from Carter Reese to Blake Michael for 2. It didn't look like Michael really, rather he saw it or Carter knew where he was going with it early.
Yeah, I think they knew what they were going to do there.
It's a beautiful little no-look there. Jack Alexander, the 29 points earlier this season, coughs it up. He had Lancaster Bible all in the ropes. Jotty with the floater. 4-0 Bears, and this is exactly how they started on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Jotty's a jack of all trades, though, too. 4.4 assists. He leads the Polar Bears in that category. 4.7 rebounds to go along with 10 points per game and a deflected ball. Miller got a fingertip on it. I like this battle, though, kind of between him and Alexander.
Jack's good, and so is Will, so it's going to be a great battle.
Hey, right off cue, Will comes down with a rebound. That will be one that Jack will hit more often, as he'll kind of take that himself, not really acquiesce to try to set up somebody in the corner. Here's Miller. He'll try the floater. He said, if it's good for Johnny, it's good for me. And a quick 6-0 run, minute 31 in the first half gone. Do you like having to take that timeout? I mean, is that one Marietta had to take?
I think so. Right now, I mean, in the momentum and the things that went on in the first game, what Ohio Northern does at home here, how they play at home here. You had a lot of people on the ropes, you know, Mount Union, John Carroll. So I think it was a timeout that needed to happen.
So it's a precision strip timeout. And again, the band is here today, finally getting the students. I love that a handful of the kids, I don't know what the theme is going on over there. Usually everybody comes in wearing Northern gear that they got at the campus shop. But you've got the one gentleman, he's got the tank top, the jean shorts, and the boots.
Yeah, and that's Nolan Bornhorst from New Bremen.
Of course he's from New Bremen. I should have known. I had enough of his high school games that I should have just known.
Yeah.
It's
He played here for a bit. He was a pharmacy major.
and the first points. Price couldn't hit that three from the quarter, so he said, fine, I'll go to the rim. I should have known it was Nolan. He's a heck of an athlete.
Yeah, he was good.
I got to cover him a lot in high school in different sports.
Played really hard. He's a good, like in practice, you better bring it every day against Nolan. He was
Reese
pretty good.
from the polar bear, just off the snout, tried to pull down the three. Rebound back, and Marietta now out of that timeout, looking for back-to-back buckets, but Alexander, well, it's lost on the way up and stripped from the headband wearing Frank Wagenfeld. So how Northern wanted to play fast, and that was one thing we talked about in the keys as Johnny goes no look, and again, Northern from about 6 to 10 feet right now are 3 for 3.
Yeah, they're really denying that to enter the ball in the wing right now.
Another steal. Here comes Johnny. Going to the basket. Nope. A whip into the corner. Miller for three to extend the lead. Bottoms. 11-2 on the First National Bank scoreboard. If you needed to come out hot, the Polar Bears did it. First National Bank with the 11-2 lead, and the Bears into a 30-second timeout here on NK Telco Sports. Back here in Ada, it is an 11-2 lead for Ohio Northern. Coach Vanderwall's upset. We know why, but 11-2, you're down early on. You've had to burn your second timeout. You're not even 3 minutes into the game. Imagine the internal conversation you're having with yourself is worse than anything that you say out loud.
Yeah, there was no X's and O's going on that little timeout. Obviously, he was just trying to light them up and get them going. Jason Ellis is an assistant coach over here for Marietta, and he could really play. He went to the Final Four, but the body language right now is a little down.
And then the offensive foul on top of it. Now 5 turnovers for a team that really is pretty good with the ball at 11.5 a game, but they kind of the whammy too that Wagenfeld used his 6'8" body and just cleared out anybody in front of him.
Interesting. Looks like a 3-2 zone Marietta's playing.
Reese from the corner. So I don't care about your zones. Blake Michael with the rebound and eventually out of play. Kind of went up over the top of Sanford.
You know,
the coaches thought it was a foul.
Yeah, with OAC play, Mike, you know, the year we were 14-4, we lost to Otterbein, who didn't have a great record in the league, and we turned around in the same week and we beat Marietta here without Ryan Bruns, our All-American. So it's just OAC play.
Deovion Price, the transfer from Adrian College, where he averaged 18 a game. His favorite movie is He Got Game with Ray Allen. Well, he did on that shot. So back-to-back, he's got all 5 of his team's points. It's the foul underneath. That's going to be 2 on the Marietta big man.
Marietta foul number 5.
Not only that, it's 2 in the last minute. So 16-24 in the first half. 11-5 is Johnny Cunningham at the line where he's hit 37 of 60. But he's hit, I believe, 4 of his last 5.
Marietta number 25, Ethan Anderson, and the Polar Bears.
Had that big first half. And then had 6 straight points for Ohio Northern in the win on Wednesday. Makes it 12-5.
In all these games right now, Mike, there is several teams right now that could play for a tiebreaker to get in the tournament, to be that 6th team. So
it's also got to be kind of frustrating because for a lot of those teams in that kind of 3 to 4 to 7, 8 spot, you don't control your own destiny. Price took on 3 different guys. Johnny with a rebound now, or sends back out rather to Langford and lost away from behind. Noah, who just checked in, the 5'10 freshman. Calls Perrysburg home, but Toledo Central Catholic. The Irish are very good.
Yeah.
16:06 to go. Studer, I love Mason Studer. I can't say enough about this. from watching him because anytime he catches the ball, he puts himself in position to either shoot it or that didn't work out, obviously, as I was trying to explain it, but he always seems, his hands are always moving towards the basket when he gets it, as OG Theo Mag checks in for Ohio Northern.
Yeah, he does a great job. I mean, he's the all-time assist leader at Colonel Crawford. Talking about Studer, he's got great basketball sense. He sees the floor really well. So he's a pass guy first kind of guy.
Ball spins in and out on a foul. I suspect will be Theo Mag. No, he gave it to Studer. So you look at Mason Studer, though. You talk about the career assist leader, Colonel Crawford. He broke a 23-year-old record when he did it. There aren't many guys. I mean, you go 89-11. You win 54 straight at one point. 974 points and over 400 assists. That's just kind of a you build it in a lab sort of thing.
Yep.
As a drop on that quick spin. Willoughby, a leading rebounder in 13 of the last 20 games in the last 10 for Marietta, rather, gets his first point. Coach talked about, don't let him get the garbage play, so he'll burn you on it.
Yeah, it's really interesting here to see Marietta come out in a 3-2 zone.
And will come Jaden Bradshaw and Jake Singleton. Singleton, the all-time, this is crazy. What I was reading about him, he went to Meadowbrook High School. He's the all-time leading free throw percentage shooter, steals, career points, season points, and then both a year and a career three-point shooter. That's a kid you bring off the bench.
Yeah.
He can get it done.
Yeah. So I remember getting a phone call. Someone in that area said, you need to go see this kid. We don't get to that area very often, but he's pretty good.
Did you make an extra trip?
I did.
Ethan Anderson with a little left-handed dribble and drop. So now at 13-9, a 15:01 in the first half. And remember, Northern was up 11-2. Langford, good spacing. Fights on the kick underneath, and all the way around the world, Reese for three. Tried it from the McDonald's down the street. Got an Egg McMuffin, knocked down a three.
It was good extra passing right there, though.
Well, Miller on his way back in. So this is a team, by the way, in Marietta that can flat out go get it. 82 points a game, and Singleton, his 13th triple of the year, and it's now a one-point game, and again, it was just a 10-point game.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what the Northern's going to try to attack the middle first before anything else against this 3-2 zone, because they have in the past. There it is. They want to go in the middle, but it's.
I'll take your word for it. I can no longer see it.
Yeah. No, it's.
Studer for three.
Yeah.
Bottoms. And then again, that quick shot, because like I said, hands always up and ready to go.
And you got to make that. You got to distort the zone. You got to make it shift a little bit. You got to take it, move the basketball, go side to side, and that's exactly what Ohio Northern did that series.
Air ball and the pull up with a leg kick off balance for Marietta. So Northern leading 16-12. So I knew no matter how many guys I put on the roster, I'd pick one that was not there. Three again. Studer was looking for the heat check because it was Ethan Hahn who took that last shot, who checked in for the first time. I think you wear that 23, you got to have a pretty good jumper, right? He throws one away. Unofficially, the sixth turnover. And a timeout. Ohio Northern women trailing 17-7, but the men are on top 16-12 here in Ada on the Precision Strip timeout on NK Telco.
At First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
It can be.
13-17 left in the first half. I was asking Rich, of course, I forgot to look for the cue, about it looks really dark in Marietta's gym right now, where the Polar Bear women trail 18-7 late in the first quarter. Just for some reason.
Well,
you can figure that out.
Well, Van Johnson Arena is what they call it. It's kind of you got one side that's filled with bleachers and the other side's really short, but, it's an interesting place.
So you can hit us up online, and if you're watching this game, tell us where you are, who you're rooting for. If you're rooting for Kentucky tonight to beat Tennessee, or more importantly, if you're rooting for North Carolina to beat Duke, then you'll be one of my friends. If you're rooting for Duke, I don't want to talk to you. First time around, again, 103-102. This time, 16-12, midway through this first half. My watch just told me it's loud in here. That's nice. Studer running the baseline, trying to find Langford. Any kind of opening on that left side with Will Miller. Will Miller and Langford playing pitch and catch. Langford out of Toledo, Will Miller out of Audubon, just down the road. So he'll take the runner, comes up short, got his own rebound as he was up in the air, tried to stick it back. Marietta Langford with the steal inside for Theo Mag. His shot is blocked and turned away, but Northern keeps control now with a shot clock down to 10.
Yeah, a lot of touch balls, but no one really took control of it. There it is again.
Mag's going to have to shoot it. Instead, he won't get a chance to the floor. I don't know about that call because Langford went after the ball, and honestly, from here, it looked like Anderson tripped over the ball.
Yeah. That was an interesting series. A couple tips, a couple touches for some opportunity for some second chance points, but didn't get it. 3-2 zones kind of right now giving Ohio Northern some problems. They do a lot of cutting and screening and then cutting into the middle of the zone to try to beat it from the middle out.
Jotty came back in. He's doing a great job of pushing that ball higher and higher. He and Theo Mag now off the screen. Mag got lost for a second. Tip ball into the hands of Singleton. He'll take the two and roll it halfway down and out. You look at Marietta, though, their one Achilles heel this year has been the fact that they're 3-2 on the road. Studer for three, way short off that hide-and-seek screen from Theo Mag. A lot of different changes. Jack Alexander, the 5'10 senior, will join the ball game. 11:50 to go as he climbs up off the bench. And both teams about halfway through this first half, Rich, feels like we're still kind of in a feeling out process.
Yep. It's interesting.
Feel that, I guess.
Yeah. But it's interesting that Marietta's come out in a 3-2 zone, and I'll tell you what that tells me is they really respect Ohio Northern's man offense because they run such a good motion offense that they're trying to mix it up right now on them.
Carson Conley over to the left side. Will Miller from Millie's in Audubon for three. Get a wing, knock down a three. He's got two of those and 8 points. Remember, he had a career-high 27 the first time, and a foul that'll draw the Boo Birds. It's amazing they don't close the door, and they just let those fly around in here. Second foul on Miller, and I feel like that's... Oh, sorry, he actually called it on Studer. I was looking at Will and looking at the board, and those didn't match. Substitution in Damian Price, the junior. Price had 19 against Mount Union earlier this season. That's his season high. So back it out at 10:56, go on the run to the elbow. A good give and go. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Ethan Anderson, the 6'7 junior, averages 4. He's got 5.
And it was a ball screen and a pop, so he popped it versus roll or dive, and obviously there was
kind of that different shot than what Carter does. Rebound, Johnny Cunningham with a guy on top of him. Now 4 of them stripped and off his knee on the way up. But Anderson's taken just 6 threes. He's hit half of them this year. But I feel like that's one of those, if you're that open, you have to take it. There's like a rule.
Again, though, if you're going to zone, you better be ready to rebound the basketball because that's one of the things when you go into a zone defensively, you don't get a body on somebody, they get a rebound.
Up top for Conley and Reese. Trying to go to the post, but Jacoby being played from front and behind with that zone. He can't find a hole in it. Conley will try from 3. Buckets. That's his 16th of the year, And then Polar Bears on top, 22-18. It helps, though, that, again, Ohio Northern's got at least 3 kids on the floor right now that have really quick catch and shoots. Because there's a lot of long arms in front of them on that defensive side. Anderson, a couple of dribbles trying to wait and get help from Jack Alexander, the SBC Player of the Year. But what was impressive to me about his high school career, there's another shot from Anderson, rims out, is that he was a 4-time first-team pick in the SBC, and you got to be pretty good.
Yeah, he was good. I saw him play in high school.
Conley for 3, just dented the front of the rim.
3 or 4 times, and yeah, he was impressive.
I think Eric Chapman for the post down there by the block is a different kind of 6'8". Yeah. He is a massive individual for 6'8". And an offensive foul off the screen. Anderson says, I'm sorry, sir, what?
So Jack Alexander's grandpa actually is an Ohio Northern grad.
I was watching the interaction between the coaching staff and the official, and he said, he leaned his shoulder in. You cannot do that. It's illegal. I did not see what Coach Vanderwall said because his back was turned to me, but the official twice said the words, it's illegal.
Yeah, well, not in Marietta, I can tell you that, Mike.
8:43 in the first half. Cunningham now with a little scoop on the run into the corner. Good ball fake to get to the baseline to create something. Jacoby just short. That's the one that he made earlier to make it 8-2. Thrown high into the corner now. Ball just disappeared out of view and nearly into the hallway. I don't know if they have Chick-fil-A today, but they were trying to get it. Sanford misses on the 3. I love David Sanford, though. He missed, and he came right back knowing Blake Michael wants to go right, wants to go to the corner and down the lane, was there to cut him off. Good scouting on Marietta's part.
Yeah, it's also, I think probably this 3-2 zone maybe be a little bit of a surprise for Ohio Northern that Marietta's come out in it.
Well, and you kind of got extra scouting the first time they played because it went to double overtime. You had 205 points in that game. I mean, you pretty much had to have seen nearly everything the other team does. So, hey, what didn't work defensively? Let's throw that out.
Not a 3-2 zone, I can tell you that. It's pretty rare. Like 10 years that I coached here at Ohio Northern, this might be the first time I've seen Marietta in the 3-2 zone.
Jody, who had that big game down in Florida, had to go all the way to Florida to play a team from Michigan. 17 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 steals. He actually visited both Wooster and Otterbein out of Westerville South High School in Columbus before he came here. And I always love the story. Came to Ada and said, nope, that's for me. I love it there.
Yeah.
Must have been the frozen tundra.
Could have been, yeah.
He's a big fan of the Starbucks that they put in, I think.
It's really interesting, though, Mike, with the synergy in which the NBA, the NCAA, and now a lot of, our Division III schools are in. You can see so much when you break down film. And like I said, it's really interesting to see Marietta come out in the 3-2 zone. I think that's a compliment to how Ohio Northern runs their man offense.
Well, that, and again, they gave up 61 points to 3 kids the first time around.
That's right, yeah.
Another ball just hangs on the rim. Jacoby, for as good of a bounce as he got the first time around, to have it fall in, has gotten robbed the last 2 times. On the trailer, wide open, deep triple off the front half of the rim for Willoughby. Came in 60-43, but there's not many times I think that you're going to beat the other team down the floor, because when guys miss, they take off in a straight line. Johnny working from the line. Beautiful drop for Jacoby. Just enough that he sort of held the ball up high when Jacoby went by, dumped it through to him for 2.
And once again, it's a great job attacking the middle of that zone.
Normally, we've seen Northern have to attack kind of inside out for a lot of things, but that zone, like you said, it's really causing problems as Jacoby with the tie-up. Not only did he not get the foul that Marietta was looking for, he then got Northern the ball.
Yeah.
So into the precision strip timeout 24-18 Bears here in the first half on NK Telco Sports.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
They have the bicycle race. I think they should make them sing Queen while they're doing it. Bicycle. It's already hard enough to try to do this, but I mean, he's not even pedaling.
He's cheating. He's got it going over there, though.
Not one time did Jacob try to use the pedals.
Now, Jacob Nowak, he knows how to play the game a little bit.
Smart kid. He said, I'm not even interested in this. I'm just going to scoot across the floor. Polar Bears have led for 13:07 in this game, by the way. That's nearly the entire game. They've led us by as much as 9. Kind of the oddity, though, that their largest scoring run is 6. Marietta's is 7. Bench points 11-6. Fast breaks. It's not a lot going on right now. You talked about points in the paint. ONU's leading 8-6. 9 points off turnovers as opposed to 4 on the other side. But neither team really setting the world on fire. It helps that they've each hit 4 from deep.
Yeah.
So we'll see the final 6 minutes of this first half.
So, they're screening the zone a little bit on the wings and the top, and then they're releasing in the middle. Ohio Northern is.
So Jacoby walked.
That entire offense against this 3-2 zone is predicated on getting the ball in the middle of the floor, middle of the lane first, somewhere, sometime.
5th turnover for Ohio Northern. So go under 6 minutes to go. Somebody bit the ball fake and should try to stop Jack Alexander. He's not the biggest guy by far on the floor right now, but he had the biggest kind of play right there. It's a district player of the year, first team All-Ohioan in football. And then he took his team to the 2019 Final Four in basketball. So he can pretty much do it everywhere.
Yeah. And there's no easy way to Oak Harbor High School, I can tell you that right now.
No, it's at least an hour from everywhere.
I mean, you're in Country Road, and then all of a sudden you see over the top of your head is the I-90, 80, whatever bypass, and you're thinking, how did I get here?
No, you're thinking, how do I get home?
Yeah.
I'm glad I got here, but how the heck do I get home? Somebody needs to help my GPS. So a 24-20 lead for Northern. Theo Mag checked in on the last dead ball for the Polar Bears. Stats are going to tell an interesting story at the half, I think, after this final 5 minutes.
Very interesting. It's not a traditional two-guard offense against a 3-2 zone.
Langford for 3. What a rebound.
Yeah, that's Blake Michael for you.
Blake Michael is the leading rebounder for Ohio Northern.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that at all. So seeing him in high school, I was actually at his 1,000-point game where he scored 1,000 points. But I also saw a lot of games, and one of the things that stuck out with me, Mike, is he rebounds the basketball.
I got to be honest with you, I don't have the greatest view of this because the entire set of Marietta coaches are in front of me, but I thought Langford kind of climbed up the back of Alexander there. Officials did not feel the same. Miller for 3. He hit that Putnam County line right where 65 and 30 converged. Couldn't get it to go, but almost came away with a steal. That's Will Miller right there. You want to talk about what is Will Miller's basketball player? Missed a shot, got back, didn't let the opposing team capitalize off of it.
So crafty, and he's such great basketball IQ and sense. Like he knows how to put his body in the right position, for success.
Somewhere Keith Utendorf is smiling. 5 minutes remaining as Marietta tries to work from the corner. It's a bothered 3. Maybe that's the key for Jack Alexander. Knocks down his 27th triple of the year, brings his team to within 1 at 24-23. Conley having to do a lot more, or Blake Michael rather, and Conley having to do a lot more of the ball handling duties here. Try to work the taller guys throwing downhill. Mag to the elbow. Miller lost it off the bounce and double dribble.
So against this zone, it looks like Ohio Northern does a lot of passing and cutting through the middle of the zone, so they still want to go through the middle of the zone. A lot of teams would go a 2-guard against the 3-2 zone, and then also put 3 against the baseline because there's 2 there, so it's 3-2. So you kind of want to distort the baseline. Ohio Northern right now, just a lot of cutting through the middle of the zone.
So on the precision strip timeout, the Ohio Northern women trailing 38-20 with about 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. Now make it 40-20. It's a jumper from the elbow, but Ohio Northern women, things aren't going right now. And again, it's a weird view down there because you're almost on the reverse side. You see the doors and it lights the place up. But it's a great view here.
Yeah.
I can't marvel enough about how the last handful of years, what they've done to this place since COVID and since, you didn't have a lot of people in. Now you've got the kids coming back, you got the background and all the stands over there.
Oh, that curtain in the back.
It's a great aesthetic.
A place for the student body to sit. My last few years, you had some chairs across the way, and the bleachers were so far back, and the students would try to sit in the chairs and stand behind the chair. This is a great environment.
So 3 for the lead. Off the right side of the rim, but Marietta with the offensive rebound, and their first lead as the bank is open for Price. 1,000-point score and a 4-time all-conference select gives his team a 25-24 lead. Theo Mag, though, reverse layup, says, I'm not interested in any of that. Give us back our lead, please. Thank you.
Well, what's really kind of fascinating right now just to watch this is so when you do watch a lot of film, and you break down plays and you do things, I can guarantee you Ohio Northern hasn't seen Marietta in a 3-2 zone. But on the flip side of that, Marietta doesn't know what Ohio Northern is going to run against a 3-2 zone because they haven't seen that much.
It's true. It's a really good point. I hadn't really thought about it like that, to be honest with you, but yeah, we don't know what you're going to do, but let's find out as the ball out of play. Will be Ohio Northern's basketball. Oh, sorry, he got the timeout on the floor. So another precision strip timeout. It's of the 30-second variety. 26-25 Bears here on NK Telco Sports.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
So back here in Ada, what's really funny is, I've said this a handful of times, but trying to find whoever is cueing me at this point during these games is sometimes a challenge, especially when there are a bunch of very large men standing up in front of you, and you're trying to find one camera.
And they were pretty animated, too.
After this, Northern going to Baldwin Wallace and Berea on Wednesday. They'll be away Saturday next week, too. That means the ladies will be home here for us next week. A trip to Capitol on Saturday means the Comets come here on Saturday. Mag Alley had it, and off an awkward bounce. It must have been last touched. It was last touched by Ethan Anderson. Thankfully, my view of the live feed is just 2 seconds behind to where I get to see that if I look up quick enough. Might have to use it to see here. Mag caught in the middle. Beautiful drop for Johnny Cunningham. That almost looked like the exact same play that Northern just ran with Jacoby a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, it was. And again, where did the ball go first? The middle. And that's what Ohio Northern's trying to do against that 3-2 zone. A lot of cutters through the middle, hit one, and now look for what's open other than that little 15-foot shot from the OC.
There is a Marietta branded stool directly to my right that has not been used once.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we have those. We bring those. Sometimes we forget those.
I think it's just an active coaching staff. 2:50 to go. The shot clock really, other than maybe 2 occasions for Northern and once for Marietta, has not been an issue in this game. Neither team has really been forced down there. They're able to get their shots off. It's a beautiful seal. And Anderson with that long arm stuck the left in to put his team within 1.
Yeah, he got a really good post seal there.
Jotty again. Second time he's gotten 6 feet from the basket, and he is having a great first half. He's got 8, and he averages 10. 3-point lead. Here's Anderson again, swiped away. Marietta folks would like a foul. Jotty says nope. Rolls the ball. He pretty much went 7-10 split to Carter Reese, and it's a 4-point run.
Yep.
Believe it or not, that's Carter Reese's first basket in this game. Minute 57 to go. Now, you remember early on in the first 3 minutes of the game, Marietta was forced to take 2 different timeouts. So they were down 6-0 in a flash, looking for the 3. You can hear it dent as hard as Willoughby shoots. He's also got just 2. Miller, backdoor, left-hand layup, good.
Yeah, not great defensive, offensive movement there, and a shot out. Willoughby, mostly is inside, and then they give up transition.
Singleton from the head of the ONU logo. Or the tail. That'd be about where the Polar Bears' tail would be if the Klondike had one in the middle.
So, when you go into the 3-2 zone like that, they didn't get back on defense very well, and kind of a miscommunication and a wide open Ohio Northern player.
A great move by Alexander. Got caught in the elbow, fouled on his way up, but was strong enough to get himself a foul against Theo Mack. Said he started the year with 29 points against Lancaster Bible. And this is a team that played in Puerto Rico already, played the Puerto Rico Classic.
Yeah, that's always a dicey situation if you're going to commit to that, because we had that opportunity a few times, and we went to Las Vegas, and I just never committed to that, because you never know when a hurricane's going to hit, and then you're going to lose. You don't get any of your money. So if you commit to Puerto Rico and something like that happens, you're out.
Well, I didn't picture you as much of a beach guy anyways. Very fair-skinned. I didn't figure that would go well.
Yeah, not always.
It's like, I'm just going to stay in the gym. That's fine. Jacoby to the elbow. Good throw downhill for Miller. Gave it right back to him with a minute. And a 4-point Polar Bear lead. Johnny tapped it back out, but it came right back to Willoughby, or to Jaden Bradshaw, rather. You're just used to Willoughby grabbing every rebound, to be honest with you. Throws one to the floor that finds Anderson's foot. He'll toss it across. Right back to him. Goes baseline. Wanted to go reversal, but ran into a very tall human being. And Jacoby just kind of turned around and looked of why. Or, I'm sorry, on Hansen, rather.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? Is that on me? He ran into an even bigger individual. He's 6'9". Both of them were on the low block. I'm not trying to hit either one. So 34-30.
Really good defensive series right there against out of bounds look. Marietta.
just bullied.
Yeah.
More than anything, Bradshaw, again, you can't dribble into a kid that's 6'8" or one that's 6'9".
Yeah, Marietta ran a little something that was for the inbounder, and then for Jack Alexander, and then, had another little.
Jack is so good. We talked a couple of days ago about guys that were able to get in and out of their breaks, but it's the fact that it's not always his first move, but it's the first set of moves where when he gets that second one, similar to what I kind of was saying about Northern earlier, that he puts himself in that position where he's going towards the basket, and you're going to have to make an awkward play on him.
Yeah. So, as I was saying before, Jake Singleton was the other one coming off of a staggered screen. So you inbounder, Jack Alexander, and then you had to defend, a second option was, Jake Singleton. He did good, Ohio Northern did, I think, pretty good job right there in that series.
Cunningham, 4 of 26 from 3. Might not be that guy. He'll go inside. Off balance, just flipped it towards the rim. And the first half comes to an end. I'm not 100% sure that was the set that ONU was looking for to end the half, but that's what they got. The scoreboard brought to you by the First National Bank says Ohio Northern 34, Marietta 30. We're back in just a few to Ada here on NK Telco Sports.
If you're a veteran, surviving spouse, or a dependent of a veteran, contact Shelby County Veteran Service Commission today. We can help you apply for a wide range of veteran-related benefits that you earned. Shelby County Veteran Service Commission. Veterans helping veterans.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
The Hometown Opportunity Platform is exceptional.
It is focused, laser focused on the careers in our four-county region.
100% of the time we go to Hometown Opportunity. We've had great success from a handful of applications when we need them, as well as a recent one where we had 67 applicants.
Honestly, it's a competitive advantage.
The Hometown experience has been everything I could have dreamed of and more.
Welcome back to Ohio Northern University here this afternoon as the Polar Bears with a 34-30 lead at the halftime break get to the stats here in just 1 second. Those are brought to you by Grand Lake Health Systems, but a big thank you to the First National Bank and Keyhole Pizza, Precision Strip, Winners Meats, Grand Lake Health Systems, and NK Telco for bringing you today's ball game. It will replay on Channel 3 and 503 on the 17th at 12 p.m. and the 19th at 2 p.m. But a big thank you again to the sponsors. You can watch this on NK Telco Cable Channel 160 on Thursday at 6 o'clock or the NKT.TV app, or if you prefer, you can do it on demand. YouTube, Facebook, nktelco.com/sports. The Grand Lake Health Systems halftime stats. And Rich, the one that jumps out to me, because you were talking about the 2-3 zone through the first half for the Pioneers, of what they were, or the 2-3 and a 3-2, kind of when they went back and forth a couple times, of what they were able to do, and about how Northern was going to have to work touches in the paint and in and out. 18-10.
Yep, that stood out to me too, yeah.
Points, and they were really able to hit. They hit those 3 straight shots to open the game from about 5 feet out, and really they were able to get most of what they wanted, but you just kind of have to survive the other team's run.
Yeah, and it was, and that, looking at that stat, that's one of the things, because a lot of teams change up what they do and they rely on the outside shot and they don't attack the middle, or they don't attack the block as much as they should. So Ohio Northern's running a little bit different of a offense that you would normally see against a 3-2. Normally you'd see a 2-guard front, and they're kind of running it's a 3-guard, but they're running a lot of screens on the elbow areas, and then flash to the middle, and a lot of cuts to the middle. And everything's predicated in get that ball to the middle first, and then it might not be that shot, but it's going to be either a cutter coming through or a nice kick out.
If you remember, we talked about in our Keyhole pizza keys to the game about the 3-point line. 5 of 14 for Marietta. Ohio Northern at 4 of 15. We talked about Samuel Willoughby in Northern's keys about what he was going to be able to do, and so far, so good. I mean, you look at Willoughby's output. He's got 6 rebounds, but just 2 points to go along with 2 assists and a couple of turnovers. So it'll be Marietta who will start with the basketball to open the second half, and immediately it took 11 seconds for there to be a call.
Well, that was a designed kind of set and entry by Marietta to get the ball to Willoughby down low. A lot of cut and false action from the guards, and it ends up with a post touch with Willoughby with a foul.
Coach Vanderwall was sitting next to me for all of about 3 seconds. That didn't work. Alexander off the glass for his 10th point.
I was going to say something to him.
Too.
I was going to say something to him. That's the first time he used that chair. You bring that chair. In high school, you don't have chairs like that. But
you don't have enough room.
No.
It's a soft touch, rebounded. Well, Jacoby had a finger on it, and as I talked about, Willoughby, who's the leading rebounder for the last 10 games for his team, came up with it. Now Marietta in a unique position because they can play for a tie or the lead. It's a right hand. When that went into Wagenfeld's hand, that's his first points of the game, by the way.
Yeah, he's gotten so much better from high school. He played at Oregon.
I didn't think there was any way that went in.
Yeah.
He's got big hands, I noticed, too, by the
big.
way. So the first 2 minutes of the first half went 6-0 Northern. Now the first minute here is 4 the other way, and a foul. I think that one's on you, actually, because you said he's gotten so much better since high school, and now he commits his 3rd foul. He had a big year.
Now, who's that, Blake? Yeah.
That's, anytime that's on you, and now you're having a conversation right in front of us.
No, Coach Vanderwall was not happy with that call.
He's less than happy.
No.
So shot Miller went up the ladder and was blocked away. Now a 2-on-3, racing back and off the glass. Second time that Ovion Price has given his team the lead. This one's 36-34.
There's that middle, attack of the middle again, then looking for other options out of the middle.
Cunningham, some folks thought he went for a walk. And it seems like the first minute and 35, it's a much more aggressive Marietta team to open the second half than they were when they went into the break.
Well, you know, you go to the halftime, you make adjustments to what you're doing.
Or you get screamed at, and then you say,
well, both.
I don't want that to happen in about an hour. So
those are the adjustments I'm talking about, Mike.
Well, yeah, I'm going to stand in the hallway I've heard coaches say this. Well, what'd you say when you got there? I don't know. I stood in the hallway for a minute or two. Kind of let them police themselves to understand I was so mad I wasn't coming in.
Yeah.
Well, what were you when you got in there? I was actually pretty calm.
Yeah. Well,
they were on their toes.
I can't say that was me very often, to be honest with you.
The calm part?
Yeah.
It's a flash. Oh, what a block. Hello. If you're going to get past Jacoby, you better do it in a hurry because now Reese for 3 in the lead. Money ball.
That's transition defense again. You got to get back and get into, if you're going to get in that zone, you got to get back and get,
That is just his second make of the ball game, though.
Yeah, I think Sanford was looking for someone to pass it to right there. Just got caught up in the air and had to throw it up.
2 defenders on the baseline and off the foot of Jacoby. I like that both coaches are not happy, but they have fascinating dichotomies in styles of kind of how they approach.
Yeah, no question about it.
Just kind of watch how this goes. So a 1-point game, and this is close to how it went the first time these teams played, although much less in the point system.
Right. And
drive and kick, and that goes off of Marietta because of the hustle of Blake Michael. He gets a finger, redirects it oddly. And I thought for a second that Coach Young was saying we weren't talking enough. Or he was about to do the chicken dance.
Yeah.
I wasn't really sure which way that was going to go.
I think it was the communication on defense.
I've heard he's a fan of this show, though. Miller for 3 to extend the lead. Bingo. 13 points for him in the first time the Bears have had a 4-point lead since they went to the halftime break. This game is going to have a lot of ebbs and flows before it's over.
Oh, yeah.
Alexander took a deflected ball and spins it home. He's so strong at the rim for a guy that's listed. He's listed at 5'10", which I think in reality makes him 5'8".
Yeah, he's so good with body control, and he's so strong. You know, like I said, I watched him a few times in high school at Oak Harbor, and like he really could control a game and take over a game at that level.
One of Marietta's keys on the Keyhole Pizza keys was to contain the guards for Northern. How would you say that's holding up so far?
Well, they're playing the 3-2 zone, I think, because of that, to be honest with you, and because of the motion offense. There's that Willoughby on their offensive glass. He wasn't able to haul it down, but
also a almost 7-foot individual in front of him probably didn't help out.
Wow.
Same guy in Jacoby tried to seal down low and got hit for an offensive foul.
Got
It looked like
all the sealing going on and the post seals, and to pick and choose which one you're going to call.
Well, it looked like from here, he was inside the charge circle, and he put his right arm back and kind of just tried to pin the guy behind him. It's only a foul if you get called for it, right?
Yep. Well, I can tell you, Anderson's sealing pretty hard himself.
He just did the exact same move, and then with the left hand, maybe that's what it is. You get the left hand, they don't see it. Smart play by him. His 9th point of the game brings his team to even at 40-40. Studer will kick down into the corner.
Go, Jaden!
But here comes the offense again after the miscue.
Yeah, they're going to call a block. Jack was getting downhill pretty hard on that one from that.
Langford threw his hands up of what? No? We can't do that? Oh, that's illegal? That's what he said earlier on. This other thing was the key.
That's that backside block.
And Bradshaw's first. And now that 6-3 run the other way. It's 42-40. Lead on the First National Bank scoreboard, a precision strip timeout. It's a full timeout here on NK Telco Sports.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Lincoln Electric Automation in Coldwater and Fort Loramie supplies top-of-the-line automation systems to manufacturers. Lincoln Electric Automation routinely develops its team through hiring and by offering advanced technical training. We understand that every employee matters and every role contributes to the success of our business. We offer advancement opportunities, competitive wages, and benefit packages. Visit LincolnElectric.com and get on track to a better career and a better future.
42-40 is Marietta's lead here in half number 2. Women trailing 58-35 at Marietta with about 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. So not the way that the Polar Bear women would have liked to make that trip. They will be back home coming up on Wednesday night as the Polar Bears on the men's side hit the road. So it'll be Baldwin Wallace, which is always a fun game for the ladies when they come here.
Yep.
Baldwin Wallace and Capital will visit the ONU women the next couple of games.
Those are going to be pretty big games.
Which means that Will Miller will have a reunion with his high school teammate in Ryan Seaver on Saturday when they go to Capital.
Yeah.
Those are always fun. Last time when they were here was the entire Audubon basketball team and about 12 people in the entire community, I believe, were in the building.
And Anna, Marin Local. Damon does a pretty good job.
Alex
obviously he's from
Capital.
St. Mary's, so he's from St. Mary's, Ohio, and played there, and obviously does a great job as far as Northwest Ohio.
So the Polar Bears with Theo Mag back into the ball game. Hayden Hansen as well, and a Studer.
They ran that baseline runner that time.
Mag with a pass down low that Langford caught on the opposite side, had his shot blocked away. And out of play will stay Polar Bear ball with a shot clock at 6.
Yeah, I think they're guessing on that one, to be honest with you.
I was just watching the coaches. Coach Vanderwall told his assistant, I got it, go sit down. It's fine. Studer from Blue Lick Road. That shot's not going to go, and a foul the other way. That's about as disastrous of a 5-second span as you can have if you're Northern.
Yeah, some quick shots. And again, now, you talk about when everybody prepares for man defense and everybody's sets and everybody's entries, and you go over it in practice. You spend a lot of time. I've often talked about, what's the merit? All of a sudden you're playing a 3-2 zone or a zone. No one really covers that kind of stuff in practice very much anyway.
3 from the corner to extend the lead. Shot up, shot down for Jaden Bradshaw. That's his 19th of the year. 5th point of the game. It's all in this half.
Now, I say that, but in my career, I'm 98% of the time, I was a man-to-man defensive kind of concept.
Studer wide open for 3, money.
So great job on inside out, Mike. I mean, you gotta, if you attack the inside of the zone and then you kick out, that's when you're gonna get the open looks.
Well, I think Miller too saw that Theo Mag's defender had come to him on the low block and said, well, that means somebody's got to be open. Kid's got a pretty good basketball IQ. Northern trying to defend the floater. It'll pop off the back of the rim where Hansen will pull down Price's miss. The Polar Bears again with a chance to get even or take the lead. Studer's looking for the lead. He's not playing for 2.
No.
As the saying goes, I didn't come here to play for 2. Ball way back up top. Now to Miller. He'll go for the lead. Spins in and out off the hand of Hansen and Anderson. And the media timeouts. 45-43 on the First National Bank scoreboard. A precision strip timeout here on NK Telco Sports.
We are here and here and here. Minster Bank is everywhere, providing every banking service that you need to keep your financial life in order. Whether you are on the go or stopping by one of our branches, Minster Bank is here for you. We proudly support the communities where you live. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
ONU women trailing now 62-44 late in the third. ONU men down 45-43, but they get that big 3 a couple of minutes ago, and they will have the ball out of this. Now, do you have different sets kind of out of bounds coming in with what the situation is, or are you just going to, all right, we look at our plays and go, this is our best, this is 2, this is 3, this hasn't worked, let's go to something else?
Yeah, I'm sure, when you come out of a break, you can always go to some kind of a set or an entry to get into what you want to run. Doesn't mean that it has to be there, but this is what we're going to run out of, and this is what we're going to look at first. And if you get it, great. If you don't, now get into your stuff.
And I know there's a lot of thought probably goes into selecting kind of with different sets of kids in there who your inbounder is.
Yeah.
So got to imagine it's got to be a pretty high IQ kid most of the time.
Yeah, or a good passer.
He's got to see a lot of things at once.
A little cross screen, box set cross screen.
Miller had the elbow. Maybe it was his elbow. And I'm not sure that foul on Singleton wasn't actually Anderson right before that, because Anderson sort of, I felt like maybe hit Miller, and it took the official a second to maybe reconcile that he saw it.
And which one it was, yeah.
There were 3 guys that hit him.
Well, they weren't going to let Will get that so easily like that one he just got.
Bottoms! Will Miller again.
He came off a staggered screen. It was a great little design for a set, yeah.
I remember a year ago when he was a freshman, did one of his first games, and I jokingly told him that he had to get me 20 points because he's a kid that's a terrific scorer, well over 1,000 points at Audubon, all Ohio, and that he used to joke, well, I'll see what I can do. He goes out that night against Capital and gets a career-high 20. Now 20 is like a normal thing for him.
Yeah. That was one where he came off a staggered screen, and they were not trailing him in the hip pocket at all. They got caught up. Marietta got caught up on the screens, tried to go underneath, and if you do that, he's going to bury a 3 on you.
More often than not.
Yeah, he's smart enough to know if they're also in his hip pocket and they're trailing him right in the hip, he's going to curl that last screen of the staggered.
Well, I didn't see who it was, but somebody set him a terrific screen to be that open.
No, it was a staggered screen, so there were a couple screens there.
I've got to believe if you're a defender, this is the worst possible foul that happens because you're laying on the floor and it's the old shove your brother down trick. Yeah. Somebody kneels down, he falls over you. Thankfully, everyone's okay, but Miller with his second foul. So I was laying on the floor. How'd you get me?
Yep.
Pull up from the free throw line, money.
So he took advantage of, they switched on that ball screen, Ohio Northern did, or I'm sorry, on that screen, and Hayden kind of got himself on, he was on a guard, and I was kind of worried that he could take him off the bounce, and he kind of did and created a little separation for that jumper.
Price has hit 2 shots in this half, as the idea was to throw to Theo Mag on that backside curl, but Price had, well, actually, he's hit 5 shots this game. 3 of them have given his team the lead. The last one of which at 47-46. I think if I said Coach Vanderwall was apoplectic right now, it would not do him justice. You know, a lot of guys mellow out as they hit 17 years. I don't think that's happened.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
No. Well, they just didn't execute like he wanted them to, and so they've talked about it. They watched film, obviously, and so they knew something that was coming, and he was not happy.
Reese Miller, square, good. I don't know if that's a better shot or a better pass to get to that point.
Both.
Yes is the answer. You are correct. 48-47, second straight basket that Miller has had to get a lead as Hansen tried to skate his way around the offensive player and was rewarded with a foul, and the 7th means 1-1.
Well, it probably was a foul that stopped him from scoring 2 points because he was going to go to the basket wide open.
Ethan Anderson's favorite movie is Hoosiers. It's a handful of kids that I was just impressed that they've seen the movie.
They know that one, yeah.
He loves Michael Jordan, so he's a good kid. But he's kind of a dichotomy, too, because he's a big Kyrie fan. Was an All-American Conference Player of the Year at Boardman High School up in Northeast Ohio. Misses on the 1-1. His career-high 8 rebounds came last year against Ohio Northern. Sal Miller works from the corner at 48-47, about halfway through this second half.
A lot of screening in the zone and then flashing to the middle.
And I was waiting to see how this was going to go because I was listening to putting Frank Wagenfeld back in, and he said, Ethan or Sami, which way should I go? The answer was Ethan Anderson, the 6'7" junior that comes out. Then we'll go Blake Michael for Theo Mag. Mag coming off just a terrific performance on Wednesday. 15 points, 8 rebounds, both career highs. It's near the 5-second call, and nobody was moving. There wasn't anywhere you could throw against the 6'7" guy defending you.
And Marietta really got through all those screens pretty aggressively. Kind of stepped inside with that inside foot outside to be right attached to the offensive player.
So 48-47 ONU, but wide open for the lead.
He hasn't been very...
Yeah, Williams got just 2 points in this game.
Successful, yeah.
He's got a handful of rebounds, but the foul will put the guy who just checked in, and Wagenfeld at the line. He missed his first shot, but hit his only other shot, tied the game at 34 early on in this half. So 1-1. Wagenfeld listed at 6'8", 279. Puts it up and down.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot better in college. He's really developed his game. Kind of right up the road here, down or up 75 in the Toledo area.
I was just waiting to see which way you were going to go to get to Oregon.
Oh.
This is a Clay Eagle?
That's not actually too bad of a trip.
It's not a great trip. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah, I've had a lot worse.
That was probably true. Yeah. Miller couldn't find the front side of the rim. Carter for 3. Offline, and now racing back with a 1-point lead is Marietta. Take through John Neese, by the way. John Neese, who used to play in the majors and is from Defiance, is one of the baseball coaches there at Clay. It's David Sanford's first 2. Makes it a 3-point lead at 51-48. It's a heck of a guy to have as your pitching coach.
Yeah.
Miller, 2 guys just kind of daring him. What are you going to do here? Cunningham throws backdoor reversal Helps that Carter Reese, I've got to believe that kid's ambidextrous.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of moves he makes. There's no way if he's not.
It was a great job getting the ball to the middle of the zone and then cutting behind the zone is what Ohio Northern did.
Everybody gets a chance at it halfway through the second half. Way too strong, or a really nice pass. Depends on who you believe. Ball out of bounds will be Northern ball. The official on this side's not even trying with Coach Vanderwall anymore.
No.
He's screaming at him, just stare. What do you want? Can I help you?
Yeah, so that's a great job of attacking the middle with Ohio Northern and then getting behind the zone with the cutter. And that's a lot of times the problem with zones. It's right there, you see there, and they're trying to do it each time. You watch that cutter come through there.
It's long that Michael had to set himself.
Yeah, and again, you get different kinds of shots.
Easiest steal ever, I would think. Ball's just rolling down the court and it comes back to you. See, up and under, Cunningham, that right-handed touch. No dice. Bears down 1, 9 minutes to go. Trying to drive and kick up top. I just love that Wagenfeld's got the headband rocking. You don't see a lot of that.
No. I'd like to see him.
Oh, what a great move.
Sanford, yeah. He's
quick little 1-1 dribble with Sanford, who's only got 2 points, and he averages 12. Something's going to have to break down here, it feels like.
I think this might go right down to the wire like we've seen a lot of games before, Mike.
Well, it is the OAC. Wagenfeld with the foul, and he said, excuse me, sir, is it you have no respect for my headband? Is that what it is? Is that how you saw me? You said there's a foul. It's got to be on the guy with the headband. That's 4 now on Frank. Carson Conley returns for Ohio Northern at 8:47.
Let's kind of call that. It amazes me. You can probably call that throughout the course of the game a lot.
Well, Conley or Jacoby had the right idea. Just a little too far. I think it might be too early, though, for a lot of the student section right now. It appears that they're a little bit sleepy here in this half. They cheered so hard in the first half.
We might have to have a discussion on that a little bit.
They were mad. They were out of shredded chicken.
Oh, wow.
It's all the way through, but the box out. Now, Jacoby makes up for it kind of on one side because that box out allows Northern to not give up a second shot as he's working hard underneath. Reese to the basket. Anderson. I think Jacoby or Reese rather just tried to hold his hand.
Coach Vanderwall having a little talk with Clay Ehrlichman. I thought he got some arm there, although didn't get it from him. But
Sally kick to the backside. Clay Ehrlichman has been in about every game I've done in the last 2 weeks. I don't know how that works.
I haven't seen him in a while.
He was at a game winner hit by Ottawa Glendorf's Colin White last week, the future Ohio State Buckeye. They had to put .9 back up on the clock, and there were a lot of unhappy folks against Highland on Saturday night. He's got 7.5 minutes here, but ONU in that sort of precarious position of realizing you've got a lot of great shooters, but you don't have to have a 3.
Yeah.
Speaking of, it's not a bad shot.
Well, it went inside first, so it was inside, outside, extra pass.
But I know a lot of teams
wide open.
kind of freak out about that of, you know, whether we have to have that. As Wagenfeld with 2, makes it 53-50 with his 6th. Important for him, too, because he's got to play with those 4 fouls, and he's a physical presence of establishing himself on both sides. So he and Jacoby trying to push him back up off the block.
I really, you know, it's not a traditional 2-guard front that you would normally play against a 3-2, but I do like what Ohio Northern is doing because there's a lot of cutting and there's a lot of getting in the middle of the zone before you take the shot. But it's
going to be on Langford.
Again, though, when you're used to running man and you're getting your shots out of your man stuff, and now you're getting different looks, and it's the way your feet are set when you're playing against the zone. It's different shots.
I was just waiting for him to announce that Langford had that foul. It's a precision strip timeout. We'll stay here. 53-50 is the lead for Marietta at 6:38. But that play kind of got busted halfway because Reese had to sidestep, didn't get that James Harden little swoop, take 9 steps and make the 3. But when he bounced it off, Langford, they're shooting basketballs in the student section now.
Yeah.
They're not doing real well. There's a reason why those kids are not basketball players, is my guess. But Langford put both hands out, just sort of shoved the guy in front of him and thought, well, he's behind me. Maybe he can't see me.
Yeah. And again, the shots you're taking versus a zone are different shots that you take versus a man. And they're just they're probably not used to getting the ball in those situations.
Biggest of shout-outs to Jim Miller, Mark Bissell, Josh Miller, and Andrew This, who do a great job of hitting these shots. And the crew in the truck, and Austin Amberger, our director, because sometimes when things happen and his assistant, David Manziel, points things out, listen to what he's talking about. The kid dunked it. That's one way. Finish with a flush. But again, there's probably a reason why the coaches are not recruiting the student section.
No. That's an interesting little apparatus over there.
And you just make one young man just carry it around. He said, who's this to?
I think he gets to take it off now.
And I just noticed there's one kid with a super impressive mustache in the second row, too.
Yeah.
I could not get away with that. It's kind of a throwback. After that foul in the timeout, Sanford, not his sons, will be at the line. Or he's the son.
Yeah.
I like that show.
Yeah, that's pretty
good touch.
I don't think anybody knows what you're talking about, Mike.
Google it. 36 of 51 on the year. He's about a 70% free throw shooter. I just want to interview every kid and say, root for Carolina or Duke tonight.
He had actually transferred from Capital. A little kick out there.
See, I thought his name sounded familiar when I was going through, but right on cue said I didn't get one. I'm going to put 2 more up. He's got 5.
It was a bad bounce, but it wasn't a great blackout with Ohio Northern. But quite honestly, it was just a long bounce, and Marietta was able to get a hand on it to kick it back right out to Sanford.
Theo Mag on the spin away from the block. Baby Giraffe, as his dad refers to him, with the little baby hook for 2.
Yeah.
Looked good on the news a couple days ago.
Oh, boy.
Oh, nobody's going to stop the shooter on the corner. Jaden Bradshaw, wearing 24, did not yell Kobe before he put that shot up. That's why it didn't go in.
Yes, an opportunity to see it now. That's a nice job screening the zone.
Mason Studer, all he does is knock down triples. He's got 31 on the year, 3 in this game.
Coach Vanderwall was upset. He thought it was an illegal screen, but it was a great job with Ohio Northern.
Oh, and a nice over-the-shoulder pass, but Anderson robbed on the rim.
Yeah. It was a great job screening the zone. They're doing it again. So you see him screen the zone for that. That's a nice job hitting the middle, too.
Langford back out top, 3 away, scoop in and out. So the Polar Bears got robbed just like Marietta did.
Yeah.
1-point ball game at 5:15.
Yeah.
Women's game not going well for the Polar Bears. Down 79-55 with 5 minutes to go. And I think if they were to drop that, I think that's 3 of the last 5 OAC games that they have had not go their way.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what's the worst road trip, to be honest with you.
All of them.
Marietta's not
all of them.
Right.
Wilmington?
Marietta's, yeah. That I was gonna say that. That was always never fun sometimes, but I would have to say the top 3 are John Carroll and Marietta and Mount Union.
Well, we won't have to worry about John Carroll anymore. 57-55. Alexander has hit on 4 of 5, make it 5 out of 6. He started the half with 2 that cut the lead to 2. Now he's got 14. So the Polar Bears down by 3 again. But they've got 5 minutes to go. That was how's that not a kick ball? It went off his shoe top. Theo Mag with the steal and just brutalized away at the basket.
Well, that ball went Marietta, Ohio Northern, Marietta.
He hit that bridge down there by Marietta. That thing just bounced and kept rolling. And a foul of the offensive variety away. on Anderson.
That's his second.
Student section, nobody's happier than those kids.
Runner, watch him flash in middle.
Baseline runner, watch them flashing middle. Is what
that was a lot of things.
That's kind of what you would do against a 3-2 zone, to be honest with you. There it goes.
Ted Stanball watching from what he calls beautiful downtown Elida, Ohio. There's Carter Reese for the three. That's woefully short. Ball bounded back around. Mag had it, but Reese came back to him. Was it deflected? They will say yes. Miller pulled back and alligator armed it to make sure that it wasn't going to be off of him.
Yeah. Again, when you zone, you got to rebound a basketball, and you got to get a blackout on somebody, and they didn't do it. And Ohio Northern gets some opportunity for some second chance points here.
Not only that, he pretty much put Johnny Cunningham to inbounds, almost sitting in the chairs with the administration of Ohio Northern.
Yeah, see those screen the zone. That time Blake popped instead of flashing to the middle.
Cunningham will drive to the basket, a little underhanded scoop to Theo Mag, reverse layup blocked. So that possession ends with 4-on-2 underneath the basket. 4 minutes remaining in a 58-55 game. I don't think we're getting a 103-102.
No.
Unless this goes to like 12 overtimes.
And that's kind of Ohio Northern's pace, to be honest with you.
Well, it's a team that comes in averaging 75 a game.
Yeah. Once again, Mike, there's that backsiding rebounding when, the shot comes from the wing of one side or the corner, get to that backside of the boards, because that's where it's going to be. So that was a great job with Marietta anticipating.
Oh, and on the lob. 1 out of 10 on the dunk?
Yeah.
Because he just sort of more volleyball touched it at the net.
But he just didn't have the timing right. But so Marietta did a good job of not letting that backside guy flash behind the zone and score.
They stole the stool. 60-55 at Marietta on the precision strip timeout here on NK Telco Sports.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
Serenaded by the Ohio Northern University Band here in Ada. See a look inside both huddles. 60-55 right now. Pretty much every foul in this ball game is going to the line. It's just a matter of how many times that we're going to do it. Any Northern foul will be 2 shots for Marietta. The next foul on Marietta will mean a 1-and-1 for Northern. 4 timeouts left for Marietta, which is kind of an amazing thing when you consider the fact that we started with the first 2.5 minutes. There were 2 timeouts for Marietta, but it's Polar Bears now with just 2 left on their own side.
Yeah. So with this 3-2 zone, the last time down the trip, Ohio Northern hit middle, and they wanted to flash that wing to behind the zone, and Marietta was ready for it. Sunk the zone down and stole that pass.
I would be surprised with 20 seconds on the clock that this possession, I was just going to say, does not go to Will Miller. I didn't even get it out before he hit the 3.
Yep.
He's just got that game working right now. That is his 5th 3. Halfway to what Caden Erford for Otto McGlendorf did last night, where he hit 10. Career high 36 points as the lob inside. And last night around Northwest Ohio, there were about 7 buzzer beaters. Is that going to bleed over into this ball game? We've got about 250 before we find out.
Well, they had a little bit. Marietta had a little bit of a cushion there, but in that 3-2 zone in the top, you can't let a Will Miller wide open like that. You gotta rotate and get out there.
Ethan Anderson, whose first point in this half, made it a 40-40 game on loads 1 through the bottom of the net.
But a part of that, again, Mike, is they were taking away, Marietta's taking away the middle and taking away someone sliding behind the zone. That's why that open shot was there for Will.
So again, a three-point lead at 61-58, 2:40 to go in the ball game. Miller down to the baseline, had 27 the first time these teams played, but there's Johnny Cunningham, found that spot in the middle of that zone you've been talking about, puts down his 10th point. Brings Northern back within one. Now you've got to figure you've got about 6 possessions-ish left in this game right now. Sanderson for 3. There down goes 1, and a foul is on the floor. Blake Michaels trying to opine that maybe Willoughby got inside of him and kind of armbarred him.
Well, either way, it stopped 2 points for sure because he was going to score that off the rebound.
Willoughby is 59 of 90 on the season. First of 2 will not drop. Having a tough game. 16 rebounds against Wilmington. Big LeBron fan out of Groveport, Ohio, and Reynoldsburg. Second, short off the front again. Theo Mag grabs the rebound. It's a team that shoots 67% from the line, but right now on the rope. Down 61-60 are the Polar Bears. Miller, well, he had to hold up. He went to screen through. Saw Reese wasn't going to be able to get it to him. Johnny Cunningham lost it at a minute 58. Now he'll take the run through the tulips. Reverse layup, no. Mag was in a good position initially, but he didn't want to pick up his 4th foul, so he didn't push it.
I'd like to see him just grab that with 2 hands. Maybe a little easier said than done, but
Rice and Cunningham squaring off right in front of where we're sitting at. Minute 30 to go. Cunningham went off of Price's body, and he had it go off of him into the backcourt. I think Marietta's arguing that the officials got that wrong. It's not an argument you're going to win, mind you. Down to a minute 29. Well, inside, and that's, by the way, I just watched it again, and he lost it himself. Cunningham, left-hand glass, and the foul for the lead. You need a big shot. Turn to Johnny in this ball game.
yeah, that was the whole offense that Ohio Northern's running against the 3-2 zone is predicated on getting the ball to the middle of the in the lane. And it doesn't have to be that guy, but sometimes it is.
Smart enough to realize he can get himself there. 2 of 4 from the line. Puts that right foot way in front of the left. Wow, everybody left early. Officials are not going to take anything into consideration on that, apparently. I don't know, though, that Blake Michael was in there. If he was, that's kind of going after a quarterback sort of thing. He had to have timed that perfectly. So it's a precision strip timeout here in Ada. 1:14 to go. Polar Bears with 2 timeouts left. And that timeout coming up from Marietta. They've got 3 left. We're Foul City the rest of the way. Will Miller's got 21 points to lead all scorers. But a couple of guys that we spotlighted in our Keyhole Pizza Keys to the Game with the coaches haven't been big scorers on either side. How does this work the rest of the way? Because you've got a couple of guys on each side with 4 fouls. Obviously, Wagenfeld, who's a high-intensity guy for Marietta. But who do you kind of pare down your maybe 2 possessions in this game if you're Marietta?
Well, I think you, and I know he's not having the greatest game, but Willoughby's, he's pretty good, especially if you can get him with a touchdown low, and then maybe Sanford with something as far as Marietta goes. And Ohio Northern's just got to continue to be unselfish like they are and continue to attack the middle of that zone.
And if you remember the early part of this game, too, it was Jack Alexander. He had 8 in the first half. He had 6 in the early part of this second half to help put Marietta on top, but he's not really been heard from lately either.
No. They got him here in the corner, so this is going to be a...
It's got him and Frank, who I just talked about.
Here comes a ball screen, probably.
Minute 10 to
right
go.
There, a flat screen. You could go either way with it.
63-61 Northern, and all the way to the basket, and his own foul.
Willoughby.
Speak of Willoughby, and he will appear.
Yeah. So they ran a flat screen right there, and you got to dictate where you want to go with that ball, and kicked it right back out to Willoughby, and he drove the lane. And that's why Jack Alexander was in the corner. So he's in the corner because as decoy, or hey, you're not going to leave him because there's going to be a wide open shooter then if you do.
Blake Michael will be asked not to participate in any more of this game. He'll become a spectator. Good news is, though, they won't make him buy the ticket. So minute 3 to go, and how much does a foul like that in terms of the time potentially change this game? Because you go from maybe now there's 2 possessions left in this game overall.
Yeah, that was big.
And so at the free throw line.
This is a really
money for Willoughby.
Big game for Ohio Northern, much like Heidelberg was. It was a good win for Ohio Northern to stay in that race to get in the top 6.
Potentially Northern's last possession here. They need a score and to play some defense.
Really flying around on that zone.
Studer for 3, no. Good look from the corner, but just won't fall. There's a about 15-second differential between the game and the shot clock.
Yeah, they're going to be real deliberate. Here comes a ball screen by Willoughby.
And remember, any foul on Northern is an automatic 2-shot.
He's going right
foul.
to the
There's
hoop.
Willoughby to the basket. And the offensive foul. And now if you're Northern, you are completely in sync that you can play for 1 shot.
Yeah.
But remember, it does not have to be a 3. Northern's got 2 timeouts. They'll take 1. Down 1. You still have a timeout if you get trapped, you're not able to advance the ball to the spot you want. Yeah. You're Coach Young right now. You're talking to your assistants before you go tell the kids, from what you've seen of this game, what's the play? Who's it going to?
Well, again, it's so we're going to know they're going to be in that 3-2 zone. So now maybe they have something where they have a baseline runner where they're, you put 3 on the baseline, and that's, it's a 3-2 zone. So if you have a baseline runner, now you got 3 guys on the baseline, and sometimes other things come available. So I'm sure it's going to be one of those kind of looks where, again, it might all start out with the middle, but it's going to be a quick hitter. I would think Coach Vanderwall was probably, Willoughby, where was the fire? But, he kind of went in and kind of rushed something right there that series, but it's what he's good at. And so it's easy to say that, but he kind of leaned his shoulder a little bit. But in this situation, I think that's what it's going to be, some sort of a look against the zone. There's going to be somebody that's going to probably be pretty well open, and it's not going to be the guy that gets the pass. It's going to be that extra pass. That's what I think.
For me, the way this has gone, Northern will have to go the entire length of the floor. It'll be Johnny Cunningham, Theo Mag, Studer, and Miller. Who's the 5th? It's Carter down in the corner. I couldn't see him. I think it's either going to be Will Miller or it's going to be Johnny Cunningham from the free throw line, honestly. Just the way this is going is that three-man front
baseline runner.
Here's Miller with 22
nice
seconds.
Seal by Theo Mag, baseline
pitch
runner.
and catch. Carter Reese on the drive to 16. Comes back left, up top for Miller. Shuttles it quickly to Studer inside. Cunningham. He'll go to the low block. Shot too strong. Fights for the rebound and a foul at 8.2. And it'll be on Johnny Cunningham. That'll be his first. Now, again, remember, with the way the college rulebook works, Northern has got 2 shots coming up here for Marietta. If they both go down, it's a 3-point ball game. Caden Jacoby, the 6'8 freshman, will return. But when they advance the ball, they still have a timeout. Anderson at the line, just 1 of 3 today. Splash. He's got that unorthodox delivery.
It looks short, but obviously it was right in the middle.
So on the timeout with 8.2 seconds to go, it's a precision strip timeout. We'll stay here and look at what this game means. Again, the Pioneers come in at 8-5 in the OAC currently. They are tied in the third spot with Heidelberg. Ohio Northern 2 games back of Capital and Otterbein for the final spot with 4 games to go. And they see one of those teams.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting kind of stretch down the end here with, like I said, I tried to get, I had some old rules during COVID of all the tiebreakers that I was looking up, and I couldn't see anything of my own notes from the past. And when I was coaching, they took a little more than 6 teams. So, I got Tim Glahn on the research on that. So he's supposed to be getting back with me on how that tiebreaker is going to go, because I think there's a lot of teams that could tie for that spot.
Capital beat Mount Union today. Muskingum beat Heidelberg.
Jeez.
Otterbein smacked Baldwin-Wallace. And John Carroll is having their way with Wilmington. That's the top half of the look at the OAC right now.
That Capital game, I don't know that helps us, because Mount Union's solidified in there, and Capital's one of the teams I think Ohio Northern is going to be fighting with. But
so Ethan Anderson at the line, 65-63 Marietta. 1 timeout left for the Polar Bears. Anderson with 3 dribbles and a toss, and that one's short. Rebound. Actually, it came down to Theo Mag. Jacoby put his hands away from it. Now Will Miller travels onto the corner. He'll take the runner, and it goes with .4. Who else for the Bears but the former Big Green in the big moment?
Yep, that was great job attacking the basket. That's what I wanted to see, too. I was like, go, Will.
You like free basketball? We might find out. Went to overtime the first time.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you could do with .4, Mike. That's going to have to be a lob and a.
Well, if you remember the game we saw here last year, we had nearly the exact same thing, inbounding from that exact side, and then there was kind of a weird scrum for the basketball and maybe a controversial ending. I don't think we'll have that here, but if you're Ohio Northern, the absolute rule is to not commit a foul.
Yeah. Well, especially with .4.
Because remember, it's 1-1 on the other side, and all you need to do is hit it. So Will Miller with a runner with .4 to go, and we are tied here, potentially looking at the 5th quarter.
This thing's going to go full court towards the rim.
And again, if you were able to break that play down, the way that it starts, Caden Jacoby put his hands back behind his back on that rebound, and Theo Mag sort of had to pick it up as it was hitting the ground.
Yeah.
They were able to get Miller. He ran past about 4 different guys, one of his own, to hit a floater from the baseline.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about that. What if Marietta gets caught for 5 seconds here, and Northern has .4 to try a lob?
Well, and the other thing you don't want if you're Marietta is to throw it out of bounds where Ohio Northern gets the ball back at that same spot. That little back screen is going towards the rim.
Up into the air and picked off as we're headed to overtime. Tied at 65 here on a Saturday afternoon. Wow. We're back with overtime here in just a minute on NK Telco Sports. Joe and Margaret Campoli Court has seen a lot of free basketball and a lot of big endings. But Will Miller sending the game to overtime. Now, I don't know if this is an advantage or not. Marietta has played overtime 3 times this year. They are 3-0, and they've won twice in double overtime, including once against the Polar Bears.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Absolutely nothing. I just wrote it down and have been holding on to it all day.
You know, when you're coaching in the OAC, you know, a lot of games come down to 2 to 5 points every game. So it's kind of one of those things where whether it's overtime or not, I'm not so sure everybody's in that same position of making the plays down the stretch, and kind of sometimes you get the lucky bounce or the lucky roll.
I was going to say, you know that we've been here for a while because Coach Vanderwall had to go get a new cup of water. It's been sitting next to me the entire game.
And he's got one of those little Gatorade
Mag
cups
and Willoughby will jump it up, and it'll be won by the Pioneers. So overtime, here we go. Remember, Ohio Northern missing Blake Michael, who fouled out in the early part or the last part of the fourth quarter. Evans, that ball off. Ultimately deemed of Willoughby.
Yeah, it's a well-designed play. Kind of a flat screen, drive it, kick it back out to the screener, and Willoughby was sealing down low on the left block.
See it again. You don't have to rush if you're Northern. Carson Conley. I'm told that this day, and Will Miller again, you can't even say he's heating up because he's been on fire for a while.
Yeah.
26 in the game for him, 68-65 Polar Bears.
And where'd the ball go first? Middle.
This is the anniversary of the Derek Fisher game winner, by the way. And a ball out of bounds again. Everything coming up Polar Bears here in overtime in the first 45 seconds. You got to know it's Will Miller. That was the takeaway.
Well, once it goes in the middle, everybody sinks down, and that's the shot on the perimeter is going to be open.
Miller now has 53 points this year against Marietta.
There it is to the middle. Now let's see what we got.
Cunningham drives in from the elbow. Will Miller for three. Boom! 29 points. And it's back-to-back triples for the Polar Bears as they lead 71-65. It's Will Miller's world. We're all just hanging around.
Yep.
Jack on the drive, pulls up short. Alexander, no, and here comes Johnny Cunningham. In a flash, he'll go the left hand to the glass. An 8-0 run to open overtime for the Polar Bears. It is frigid in this building right now if you're a Pioneer. 3:23 in overtime. And the First National Bank scoreboard is all Ohio Northern right now here on NK Telco Sports.
At First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
73-65 Ohio Northern here in overtime. 3:23 to go in OT, but Will Miller says, we're not going to doubles. I'm just going to drop threes down on everybody. He's got 29. And again, talk about his maturation as a scorer. Had well over 1,000 points in his career. He's one of the all-time leading scorers in Putnam County. Number 50, as a matter of fact. Number 3 at Audubon. Had 27 points in 41 minutes the first time these teams played, but just showing off right now with his ability to knock down clutch shots.
Well, it's a great job with Ohio Northern. Those shots are coming because they attack the middle of that zone, and they have to collapse and honor that, and when they do, there's a wide open kick out.
The take on Theo Mag. I just love the assassin-like mentality of Jack Alexander because immediately he goes up the line, Mag reaches in, he's called for the foul, but Theo Bill got kind of emotional about it, and Alexander just turned and walked right back to the line. Nobody's going to bother me. 2-shot penalty against the Polar Bears, but 2 shots doesn't matter. The last one hasn't gone down, and that's 3 of the last 4 that have been missed by Marietta.
Alexander with one more shot.
In this ball game. 11 of 18, now 12 of 19 from the free throw line. That's the first point in overtime for Marietta as they get within 73-66. I don't know that Miller's going to be hitting from 3 right now, but
well, they've gone to man-to-man now.
First time in the game?
Yep. So Marietta's coming out in a man.
Well, Miller destroyed the zone, so
Yeah.
here's Johnny off balance. It came right back to him. He couldn't get it there quick enough. Handed it to Carter Reese. And the rims are now closed as Jacoby with the steal. Everything coming up orange and white and black, and a foul up top on Alexander. Little result in 1-1 for Johnny Cunningham, Jr.
Boy, Ohio Northern had a couple opportunities for a couple 5-footers right there. Kind of missing, but you got to hand it to Ohio Northern. So Marietta came back now out in a man, pressured them. Ohio Northern went right into their man offense. A lot of that back screening on the free throw line, and attacking, the basket.
Lagerfeld came back in. So free throw makes it a 7-point game at 73-66. Remember, though, as he's fighting with Theo Mag, both of them have 4 fouls. It's the cheerleaders and the pom-poms, the only noise in this building. Johnny, what a game for him. You look at, obviously, if you had a player of the game, you'd want to give it to Will Miller because he's got 29, hit the 2 big daggers here, potentially in overtime. Willoughby for 3, needs it, got it, good. Shooters and shooting and all that. But you'd be hard-pressed to not maybe include a guy like Johnny Cunningham, who he's got 17 points, but he's also got a line as he hits Miller on the run for 31.
Will does a great job of making that backdoor cut when Marietta's going to come out and pressure you.
And a block on the other end. There's apparently a block party here in this building. Minute 55 to go, and if the Polar Bears ever needed a win, it was today. I'll run off some time. I would imagine that the guys who have scored 30 points in a game at Ohio Northern are a list of who's who. It's Theo Mag on the little scoop. Went for it. Lucky he didn't get his 5th foul.
It was great ball movement, great extra passing. It should have went down.
Exactly why Frank's in there, to get rebounds and stick them back. Frank does just that. His first of the overtime. Lead trimmed to 77-71. Wow. I mean, just a ridiculous game so far. We still have a minute 22 to go, and a 6-point lead, as we've seen over the years, is not insurmountable.
No. It came out, though. Ohio Northern came out right away in overtime and really executed against that 3-2 zone. Got some inside touches in the lane, kicked out for some really wide open threes for Will, and he knocked them down and kind of forced Marietta towards the end, the last part of the overtime, to go man-to-man.
Scoreboard says Marietta with no more timeouts. Ohio Northern with 2 and a 6-point lead. Double bonus the rest of the way. Now, Will Miller's got 31 points in this ballgame. He's not going to do it, but do you know the all-time leading scorer in a single game in Ohio Northern history?
I would have to say either Nate Berger or Ryan Bruns.
Robert Rupert had 49 points.
Oh, wow.
In the 52-53 season against Hiram.
Yeah. I think we had a game where I'd have to look, but I think Ryan Bruns had 36 and like Nate Berger had like 34 in a single game. I'd have to look which game that was, but they both were in the 30s.
Well, Ryan Bruns is just a special athlete and an amazing human being, too, by the way. Keep in mind, Ohio Northern has dropped 13 straight games in this series, but all they care about right now is the number 6. That's their lead with a minute 22 and the ball.
Good
Miller,
job.
great pass through a pair of defenders for Carson Conley. So either got to go to Miller or Jotty because fouls are coming. So that will be assessed to Price.
So that was a man press with a little run and jump right away. And Ohio Northern did a great job of sending a cutter through the middle and attacking the middle of it. And really good composure, valued the basketball, took care of it. Didn't get a little bit out of control there.
Will Miller's brother Ashton was the leading scorer as he misses a free throw. It's actually his first attempt, and he's 42 of 54 now. But his little brother Ashton was the leading scorer last night for 9. in the win over Kalida for Audubon. As they take on Paulding tonight. 32 points for Willie. 78-71. He's Big Willie on campus right now. Price nowhere to go on Miller. Tried to work him to the baseline, hit the reverse layup, and Miller thought he went up clean. He's trying to find his family. His brother Joe's sitting back there. Oh, and Ashton's back there too. His brother just shook his head up. I don't really think that's on him.
Joe was a good player himself, really much a glue guy, back at Ottoville, and really kind of kept everyone together, kind of just solid player, solid individual.
Free throw rattled home for Price. That is his first point since he gave his team a 47-46 lead midway through the second half. And I'm trying to remember what Will Miller's high was at Ottoville. Minute 2 to go, but I can't find it off the top of my head.
That's kind of surprises me.
I know, it really does. You'd think I'd have that written down somewhere. So Will Miller had his first career start against
they're
Alba,
taking the
where he had
inbounder.
13 points.
They're taking the inbounder, and they're just 2 to guard 1, not allowing him to get open, but called a foul on Marietta with a hold.
So that'll be on Price. He cannot do that, I'm told.
Hey, got a rebound! Carter Reese at the line.
So Carter Reese, who has not had the game that he's used to, at the free throw line, though. Keith Udendorf, his head coach, said he thinks it was 31 against Minster. And the worst part about that game is I'm pretty sure I was there for that. Reese with his first point of the overtime. Ohio Northern's 4 of 5 from the line in this fifth period. 79-73, or third half, I guess, however you want to look at it.
Well, if you were there, you had your opportunity to get Keyhole Pizza. It was just right down the road, Mike. You had an opportunity there.
Unless the game was in Audubon, and then it doesn't work.
No.
80-73 is Price. If you're Marietta, you're saying he was fouled on the way up. Officials are not agreeing with you as a timeout. Coach Young said, I used to take these timeouts when I was in Indiana. I used to take them when I was in Illinois. My God, I'm going to take one here in Ada. It's a precision strip timeout.
Final score from the women's game this afternoon at Marietta.
Women fall.
Pioneers 84, your Polar Bears 62.
84-62 as they will be in action. They lost to Marietta. They'll be back here on Wednesday nights in the game you can watch here on NK Telco Sports. Also, don't forget, so you can watch any of these games on demand at nktelco.com/sports, YouTube, Facebook, or on channel 3 or 503 on the 17th at 12, the 19th at 2, or the NKT.TV app on channel 160 on a Thursday at 6. If you're going to spend some time at Ada, why not have yourself an overtime ball game?
That's right.
So the Polar Bears, 8 of 11 from the free throw line, 30 of 70. And I joked earlier on that it was 75 shots, 76 shots the first time these teams played, that we wouldn't get anywhere near that. Marietta has taken 65 shots. Ohio Northern has taken 70.
Yep. Well, we're also in overtime.
There's also that. Polar Bears have taken 32 triples. They've hit 12. They're leading the rebound, or Marietta rather, is leading the rebounding battle, 44-42. But right now they need a 5-second call or a 10-second call. Studer, Cunningham, and Carter Reese. Did he step out? Nope, he was fouled.
He didn't see it. But he said he shoved him out of bounds. He didn't see it.
Coach Vanderwall said, again, they're right in front of us, and he said, Carter Reese stepped on the line. He said, no, he didn't. He shoved him out. So now the free throw up and down. Second straight game now that a coach has asked for a replay.
I know.
Second straight game. He's not going to get one. 81-73 with 42 seconds.
Well, he looked right at me, and I shook my head. No.
I just looked at the scoreboard and looked away. 4 of 4 now in overtime is Carter Reese. He's got 11 points under his average, but ahead of the scoring. As a reverse layup for Jake Singleton. That's his first point since early on. Is out ahead. Will Miller, take the free two, young man. He's got 34, and the Bears are pretty much sending this game into hibernation. They're chanting MVP as the shot rebounded by, ultimately, Miller. Off the scoop, a technical foul with 19.4 seconds in a 9-point game in overtime.
He grabbed his arm. Coach Vanderwall just kind of grabbed the official's arm, it might have been accidentally swatted up.
How's that go? I've seen enough to know that I've seen nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just curious how many buses the Northern kids think that Marietta brought. Reese all alone at the free throw line, up and down the southpaw now with a dozen. I really thought I had seen everything.
Yeah, well, I've been to Marietta a few times.
Oh, that's a good point. Keith Udorf reminded me that Minster game, Will Miller had 20 free throws in that game. And I remember joking with him that I think he was 19 of 20 from the free throw line in that game. Because I remember joking with him that he was pretty close to the Audubon record. And all he had to do was hit one more.
All right.
So 1 out of 2 from the line, and the Polar Bears are going to walk away with a 10-point win, 85-75 in overtime. And an impressive win for ONU. A lot to unpack about this ball game, but 34 points from Will Miller. Polar Bears snap a 13-game skid against Marietta. We'll talk about it when we come back here in a few to wrap things up on MK Telco Sports.
My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
Back here inside at Campoli Court, the Sports Center, Kinghorn, whatever you want to call it. Tonight you call it the home of the victorious Ohio Northern Polar Bears, who for the first time, it was pointed out to me, since the OAC tournament in 2018 of a 94-88 win knock off Marietta. And again, 13 straight losses in that span, but overtime in both games. So double overtime and a 1-point win for Marietta the first time, and a 10-point win in a double overtime behind a career-high 34 points for Will Miller. Marietta now 14-7 on the year. They're 8-6 in the OAC. Ohio Northern goes to 11-10 on back-to-back wins Wednesday and Saturday. They're 6-8 in the league. They came in 2 games back of that final spot. They have Capital in the game on Wednesday, or next Saturday, actually, on the road. Marietta right now, though, hoping for a lot of losses behind. Kind of fascinating for them. They are home against Otterbein Wednesday. They go to John Carroll next Saturday. Finish up with home games against the Mount and a B-Dub. Ohio Northern's got almost the exact reverse. They go to Baltimore Wallace and Berea on Wednesday night, go to Capital Saturday before hosting Wilmington for Valentine's Day and Muskingum for Michael Jordan's birthday. But a big win for the Polar Bears, 85-75 in overtime, and a big thank you to First National Bank and Keyhole Pizza, along with Precision Strip and Winners Quality Meats, Grand Lake Health Systems, and NK Telco for bringing you today's game. And to the guys who brought you the game, and Jim Miller, Mark Fissel, Josh Miller, and Andrew This, our assistant director, and David Manzel, and our director, Nelson Ambergy. And for Rich Bensman and Mike Hearn, have a great night, and even better tomorrow from all of us here at NK Telco Sports.